What's up everybody and welcome back to another episode of Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. This is a series where I show you guys some cool or otherwise interesting mods to come out each and every week. Since we had that crazy weekend like 2 weeks ago, modding has been a little bit slow. We've been still getting some quality mods, just not nearly the amount of releases that we were getting previously. But as I've said many times in the past, I still think this is pretty good because you get to see mods that you otherwise may have overlooked because there are other greater releases. Some smaller yet still very high quality mods do get more attention this way, and all around it just creates a cool environment. With that being said, if you guys do enjoy the series, I really encourage you to consider subscribing. But with all that, we'll just jump right into it. The very first mod I do want to show you is Dustbowl Overhaul. This is a really cool mod. It actually is kind of a re-release and a updated version of a older mod, that older mod being Sandy Boston. That's actually a great example of what this does. More or less, this is going to transform the Commonwealth to look much more like Fallout New Vegas or a desert. There are a number of different parts to this mod, the main being the overhaul to the textures of the ground and really just removing a lot of the foliage that otherwise is there. In addition, there's an add-on that'll actually add in palm trees, basically replacing some of the existing trees, although many trees are removed, so it's really just a replacer and addition of some palm trees here and there. And then finally, there actually is a weather component. That's another add-on you could download separately to go with the rest of the mod. I do want to emphasize that this is a more beta release than anything else. The mod is without a doubt high quality. It gives you a totally different feel to the Commonwealth. We have a ton of different green mods. This is similar to those in the sense that it does really make the Commonwealth feel quite different, but at the same time, it is a totally different feel. I think it's a very cool experience, especially if you're using some other kind of deserty mods. I think they fit really well into the game, and it really just creates a different dynamic. The weather component of this is pretty cool. The only thing I really noticed though was some different dust storms, which do really inhibit your visibility, which was a really nice effect. That's something we didn't get too much of in Fallout New Vegas, and obviously it goes really well with the desert theme. Regardless, I think it could be cool to see that expanded in the future. I'm not really sure how ambitious this project is going to be, but adding in tornadoes or dust tornadoes into the game would be quite cool and definitely something I would love to see. So then we do have a new lever action reload fix. A few months ago, we did get an existing one of these. Basically, what this mod and the previous mod did do was change the way lever action reloads do work. So previously, when reloading the lever action rifle, no matter how many shots you did fire, you would reload the full 5 bullets of the gun. That ended up being quite frustrating, especially with that gun in particular, because if you fully upgraded it, it does quite a bit of damage. Many regular enemies will die in 1 or 2 shots, not the full 5, and you often found yourself just sitting there reloading with the very long and tedious reload animation. Well, this reload differs from the other one in its approach. The old reload kind of cheated the engine a little bit. It really wasn't meant to be something in the game. This one takes, again, another approach, so it gets rid of many of the bugs associated with the old variant. I really couldn't find any bugs with this one. I know one of the main ones of the old one was if you were aiming down sights and then when you cocked back the gun, it would cancel your aim and return you to the default position, which is very frustrating, especially when moving from target to target. This is a great addition to the gun. It's something that should have been in the vanilla game, and something that is actually pretty exciting about this one is it could be applied to other mods as well. There are a few mods using the old lever action reload for different pump shotguns, but many people shied away from it due to the errors and glitches associated with it. This one being relatively bug-free does make it a great candidate for use with things like the hunting shotgun and just some of the different mods we do have out there. Without a doubt, the biggest release of this week was the FNP90. This is a brand new mod by the Shiny Haxorus. This is the same mod author that did bring us the Scar H, as well as a few other weapons in the past. This is a really high quality weapon. It's a ton of fun to use. It's bringing in the P90 that I'm sure we all used in Call of Duty 4, as well as a ton of different attachments to modify the weapon to your heart's desire. It features custom sounds and custom reload animations, all done by the Shiny Haxorus, which came out really well. I feel like he's one of the few mod authors out there that really do everything with the gun, from texturing, modeling, all the way to reloads and sounds. This is a very high quality weapon. It's probably the highest quality SMG we have for Fallout 4 right now. Many of the other SMGs aren't the complete package. They either are lacking with custom sounds, custom animations, or even some of them just don't have that much in the way of different attachments. All around, this is a ton of fun to use. You've probably seen it in a few other videos this week. It really is just a very satisfying weapon to shoot down different enemies with, and something I'll definitely be keeping on my character for a while. So we do have Crazy Safari. This is a really cool mod. Basically, what this is going to do is add in all the different creatures from the different DLCs in Fallout 4 into the leveled list of the Commonwealth. So right now, if you do have Nuka World and Far Harbor, after experiencing those 2 DLCs, when you go back to the Commonwealth to do everything else you could do in Fallout 4, you're going to realize you're not going to see any of these new NPCs. Well, this mod's going to fix that problem. Now, as you are exploring around, you'll run into many of the NPCs, and more specifically, the creatures you did find through those DLCs. I feel like Far Harbor is the real premier one here, because it did did introduce so many new sea creatures into the game, and the coast in Fallout 4 has largely been relatively boring. All you'll find there is normally some mirelurks and maybe an enemy or two fighting those mirelurks. Well, now there's going to be a ton of diversity. You're going to find anglers, gulpers, and really just a ton of different creatures there, which are very powerful and very scary. In addition, some of the different things from Nuka World do make their way in, although he does upload a totally different mod for the raiders from Nuka World. He does have that linked on the page of this one if you're interested in downloading that. Basically, that'll incorporate many of the raiders from the Nuka World DLC into the regular level list of the Commonwealth. It was a relatively slow week for Xbox One mods, so I did want to include one port that did make it over to Xbox One. That's going to be the Rebel Flannels. This is actually a mod I did cover much earlier in the year. Basically, what this is going to do is add in a number of different retextures for the Rebel armor. I think this looks really cool, especially if you're using some of those different green mods for Fallout 4 and like a nice hunting shotgun or something like that. It really allows you to create the feel of a hunter in the Commonwealth, which I feel like with some of the different mods we do have available is a pretty appropriate theme to have. Of course, the Rebel is part of the larger Merc pack, or actually now there's a standalone version on Xbox One. You're going to need that mod in order to use this because it does use it as a dependency. Regardless, all around a very cool mod, and one that I personally found myself using quite a few times over the past few months. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this episode of Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. Again, a little bit of a slower week, but I still think we got some pretty quality mods. Between M's Abominations last week and Crazy Safari this week, I feel like we got a number of mods that really changed the level list of Fallout 4, which is something that has been relatively unchanged since its release. We've only had a few mods here and there really adding new things in that category. As always, again, I thank you guys for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.